Good. I would like to call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners of Lake Bluff Park District. Marcia, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can. Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry will be late. Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Mossberger absent.
Okay. And now if I can get a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Motion.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Marcia, roll call, please.
Who seconded that?
Scott Weber.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Okay, statement of visitors. There are a couple of visitors here today. Welcome. Any statements that anyone would like to make? Okay, we will go on then to the staff reports.
For the Recreation Department, we'll save ours for our board report.
Okay. All right, we'll wait for the board report on that. Finance Administration Future Planning Committee, we are having a meeting September 9th, and we are going to be going over not only working with the staff to get more refined projections like we did the last time on a more informal basis, where we lay out a few different scenarios, but we are going to be working on the schedule that the budget deliberations are going to take this year. And Greg sent me a proposed calendar for that. And we're working on that basis. And we're going to go over that at the finance meeting. And then at the September board meeting, we'll put that all to you for approval. So we will have more at that time. I think it's, no, okay, we'll go on. We'll, Parks and Beach Committee, anything?
I guess that's me because Corey's not here.
Right.
Actually, I could have Jim probably talk about the sand management project because I wasn't there.
So I think, I think we shared that last time though.
We did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There was another, there was an online coastal survey that was done this past week and I wasn't able to attend that. But I think we're pretty up to date with everything that's going on so far with the sand management, with beach usage. I think we're all up to date.
Jim, you can share a little bit. Did anyone see the article that was published?
Which article, Nikki?
I saw something. The article that you were quoted in. Spoke a little bit. It was a couple weeks ago. The one we had talked about.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we've had a lot of positive messaging with the Chicago Tribune over the summer. Regards to not just the beach, but the pool opening and camps. And with this beach one, I believe this one was about a little bit of the sand management, as well as us still being open and making sure that we maintain the social distancing and having lifeguards at the beach. But I think that was the article where I was quoted about how much we spend each year on sand nourishment. And this project will help us out that first fiscal year.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
All right. Facilities and Programs Committee. Emily?
So we had a meeting August 10th, and we discussed the COVID-19 school district plans, and Jim was gonna probably, I'm sure, update us today on what he's gonna be doing with the preschools and the before and after programs. The summer camp was extended. I'm not that's what was discussed. I'm not sure if it was extended. I'm sure Jim can tell us a little bit more about that. Then there was discussion of the paddle professionals that were hired, Carrie Falls, and I forgot the guy's name. Jim, what was the guy that was hired?
Rich Rosenberg.
And then the last thing we talked about was the pool and extending the days, and the committee recommended extending it if Jim could have it covered by employees. And so Jim will give us an update, I'm sure, on all these things. So there was a lot of information, and I think we're just kind of waiting to hear the follow-up from what was discussed at this meeting. And I guess I saw that there was a women's paddle open, but we didn't talk about that. I'm curious to see how that went, the open house.
Yeah, we can cover all that if you'd like, again, in the board report, or, I can cover the pool part if you want here.
I think,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, if it's up, I think it makes sense to just, when you go through it, it looks like it's all
Sure.
outlined in the packet and it flows well. So unless anybody has questions. Does anybody have questions for Jim or I or anybody else? I think we're good.
Okay. Friends of Lake Bluff Parks, Jennifer?
Actually, I'm going to defer because Emily was at the last meeting.
Oh,
Sorry about that. But we did talk about what went up, but go ahead, Emily.
I'm trying to figure out, I don't have the notes in front of me what we talked about.
The two things, one of them was the skate park, which we still need to address for any sort of fundraising for that. And the other was, I've attended 2 meetings for the brick pavers, and Jim, you've been there as well, because that was approved by the village in order to be able to start that project with the Friends. So when we do the upper Bluff renovation, that's been cleared and good to go with the Village of Lake Bluff.
Oh, and we did talk about, sorry, just remembered, Paul, because I asked you about if the preschool playground was budgeted, and
Yes.
you confirmed that it was not in the budget.
Not in the budget.
Right.
Not in the budget. That was, yeah.
Okay. Commissioner comments? I have one comment. Chris and I met during the week. We met with John Krasnovic and Mike Gillespie, who were 2 of the people who are staying active regarding the golf course from our Community Golf Association. And we were just discussing some of the, how some of the things were going with the golf course. I think, Greg, in your report, you talked about how we should be making money. The projections for the golf course, Golf Visions is expecting to bring in somewhere around $1 million in revenue, plus minus 25,000, which means we would get $20,000 from the contract, from the 10% of everything over the $800,000. So that's going very well. We also, just as an aside, we settled on a figure of Golf Visions paying us $5,000 for old inventory of shirts and golf clubs and things like that were at the golf course. And so we don't have to worry about selling that or whatever. And that was a fair accommodation that the contract called for. So those things are going well. The golf course, I mean, there are tons of people playing. And one of the things we talked about was we'd like to see a little bit more, I would say we'd like to see Golf Visions put people together more, have more activities at the golf course that aren't necessarily directly golf related. So they do this at their Bonnybrook course in Waukegan, where they'll have fish fries on Friday night, and they'll have different activities. And something we started doing when we were, before the course was turned over to Golf Visions. And so that's something that I think, whether it's the Community Golf Association or whether it's the Park District, try to work with Golf Visions after the season to see what they can do for next year. They've got a lot of new golfers this year, people who are either new to the game or people who haven't played regularly who are playing this year. And the hope, of course, is that those people continue to play. So we'd like to get a little more involvement outside of the direct golfing. So that was something we did.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah,
I'm going to be meeting with Tim this week. I'll bring that up this week and see if they can even pull anything off this year. Something.
that'd be great.
Yeah, see what he can do.
That'd be great. I mean, again, a ton of people are using the golf course this year.
It's busy.
Just incredible. And I, as I said before the meeting, the parking lot looks great. And I wanted to tell everyone driving in there, don't drive in, leave it alone, you know, come in, keep it fresh. And we were really lucky with the weather that it, you know, I mean, no interruptions. I think a year ago, it might have taken a month to finish that, the way it was raining all the time. But it's nice to have. I appreciate it, I know. And, you know, you can kind of look at what's ahead of you instead of looking down at the parking lot to make sure your tire doesn't get lost in one of the potholes. So that was great. Any other commissioner comments? Okay, there's no president, so there's no president's report. We don't actually have anything for a board report, for the staff report.
Do you want me to just go into it, Paul, before?
Why don't you? And then
Yeah, so
pro forma things, Jim.
So basically, we'll start with camp. Camp is done for the 2020 season. We got through without any major issues, which is great. We were really excited. We added one additional week to one of the camps, Camp Kickahow. We were able to kind of get enough leadership, counselors, as well as oversight of the camp. Ms. Thompson, one of our preschool teachers, who actually started this camp a few years ago, was able to staff it for one last week. So that helped out with a little bit of revenue. More importantly, participation and helping parents out. I don't know, Rosie, is there anything to add to the camp, or Dana? You both are on mute, by the way.
Yeah, we had a great turnout that last week of Kickahow. We had 30 campers that week, which is still a great amount of youth to serve. So glad that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah, we typically had 40 for the session, so it was lower, but we had a great week. We were very grateful for the opportunity to extend it one more week. The parents were very excited to get rid of their kids for one more week.
So that was that's camp. Like I said, we had a really successful camp season in the state that we were in with COVID-19. You know, I'm glad that we started it right when we were able to offer it. I think it was just a need for the community, and more importantly, get those kids outside and doing outdoor activities. And we had great weather throughout the summer. Hardly any rain days. Hardly ever had them in the building. That was since I've been here, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So that was in our favor, definitely. If there's no other questions on camp, I'll move on to pool. Any questions on camp from the commissioners? Nope. Okay, so pool, as Commissioner Lane mentioned, at the Facilities and Programs Committee, they basically, the members stated, hey, if you can stay within budget, proceed forward and try to extend the pool. So what is a little different this year is that normally last week and this week, we wouldn't have anything but lap swimming during the weekdays. We are able to get some staff and offer an evening swim from 4 to 6. We've never done that before. So that was new. And we are, as of right now, we have just the amount of staff that for September to extend past Labor Day, weekends only. We won't be doing the weekdays after Labor Day. So we'll be doing Saturday and Sunday, and it'll be from 1 to 5. It'll be one shift. That's all we can get for staff. But it is something. We're going to be within, we're going to be better than what the budget was presented to open the pool with. Not the original budget, but the proposed budget back in June. So we're projecting to be less than $80,000. I think we could get a little bit possibly better than that based on non-resident daily fees. And I am currently working with one of the swim clubs to extend their time through the 20th. So that could be an additional $1,500 just with the swim clubs. And we're going to actually exceed the original budget for swim clubs, which was $15,000. We're already at $16,800 with the swim clubs. So we did a great job working with staff and talking to them and really kind of filling in those special hours that they need. So any questions on the pool? There will be.
I just, kind of second what you said about the weather. And I guess we shouldn't get used to it. I don't know. I can't remember a summer with this kind of weather.
No, this is the best weather. Imagine if it wasn't COVID, this would be an incredible year for the pool. But, it still was a good year for the pool with COVID. Yeah. So I'm excited that we can get through this year. So. Greg, you're on mute.
Kudos to Jim and the pool staff and the committee for making that move. I can't tell you, I'm an unknown in the community. I can't tell you how many people have stopped me at the pool on the deck there, thanking me for the extended hours and how much they're enjoying it. It's several people have come up to me already, so it's a good move.
So that's the pool. If no one else has any questions, I'll move on to the beach. Just real quick with the beach. Again, this warm weather, and I'm amazed at the non-resident daily fees. We didn't do a price increase, but we did limit the hours. We actually, I don't have it in here for this report. It says we're at $20,920 for total fees collected. We'll exceed that. The budgeted number for non-resident daily fees was $23,500, I believe. We're at $28,000. So we will exceed that non-resident daily fee. That'll really help with some expenses because of COVID-19. If you remember, we opened in April to help social distancing, so there was a cost in April and May for that, and we'll have there'll be a cost for that as well moving into the end of September and October. But that'll hopefully offset that cost. I'm projecting the beach budget to the original budget that will be in line with the original budget, even with the additional expenses.
That's welcome news. Thanks for passing the good news on, Jim. I feel like it's been a while since we've had some.
You're welcome. So we're going to move on to the fitness center. I'm going to have Mark talk a little bit about the fitness center. I do want to thank Mark, all of his hard work with the aquatic den. In the fitness center, we opened for the first time in July, if you remember. So this is a 1 month snapshot of COVID-19 with the fitness center. So Mark, if you kind of want to give a little bit of an overview of the month.
Sure. So I'll start with the positive. The positive news is the outdoor group classes are going well. Cycle, and so we're getting a lot of good feedback, but people are really enjoying that and keeping their membership active due to those classes. Beach yoga, we extended for the second session. We are actually seeing the numbers are holding steady. In September, the instructors are super excited. I told them bundle up if it gets chilly out, and they're all in. So that's the good news. The challenging part for us indoors is our usage has really gone down. Feeling not comfortable coming in at the moment, and they're either on a freeze or unfortunately had canceled their membership. So for us in the fitness center, we are looking at, staying positive, but coming up with creative ideas to entice people to come back into the gym. This last marketing that Jeff sent out, I was pretty impressed with. We put together a collage of testimonials, and I got some good response from people saying that they did enjoy seeing that. Now I'm hoping that translates to some of the members coming back, but I think we're going to keep the strategy moving forward of showing that the gym is socially distancing. People are wearing their masks, as well as the windows are open for fresh air. So that's kind of the strategy piece that we're going to, keep pushing so that members eventually will say, okay, maybe I do feel comfortable now coming back in. So with that being school special, so anybody that's not looking for a long-term agreement, specifically high school, some college, we're going to do a $125 quarterly pass. That's also going to get them 5 daily passes to as far as the longer term memberships, the annual, we are waiving the first month. So we're going to, first month is on us, as well as we're going to offer personal training promotion, kind of like a starter pack, 3 sessions for $99. Any questions on all that? Sorry, I talked pretty quick.
Can you explain the memberships on hold? It seems like there's about 100 that are still on hold, or is that 61 and then 35 still remain on hold? Because that seems like a pretty big number of the overall percentage. When do they have to actually make a decision by?
So ever since COVID hit back in March, we've had people emailing, calling to suspend their membership. Originally they wanted, and it was on us to explain to them that we do have another process that we can freeze your account, and that when you're feeling comfortable, we'd love to have you back. With that number, we are starting for 3 months hold. And at that time, if they're still not feeling comfortable, them just canceling and either never signing up or going somewhere else. So to answer your question, that is the number that we put in there, but unfortunately that number is going up every day.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. Now, we don't really have a great barometer of what the gym is going to be like when the weather starts to turn. You mentioned having your instructors bundle up. At what point do you say, okay, we can't really do that anymore, we have to go all indoors? What like temperature data you kind of think of there?
I want to go off of more of the numbers, what kind of participation, what it looks like, how are the instructors are feeling. We are currently running on Zoom as well, and that does have good numbers. So let's say it starts to get down to 50 and people are not comfortable, we would primarily move on to Zoom. And that's where I think our strategy's got to be for personal training as well, is for those not comfortable coming in, that we do have an online presence that people can, still participate and exercise at the comfort of their home.
I have a question, and I'm not sure you would have the answer. Have we gotten, and it doesn't relate to anything, but have we gotten any calls from people in the community who participate in the classes and the pool and the camps about any cases of COVID?
Yeah, I can probably answer that. We've had like family members that have, been exposed to another family member with COVID, but we have not had a COVID case yet within the park district. Does that answer your question, Commissioner Greenfield?
It's only, they've gotten it from someone else in their family, but not.
No, like they might have been exposed to a family member that had COVID. We've had that in a couple of situations with some employees, but they have not actually tested positive themselves with the COVID-19, as far as I know.
And none of the residents who are using the facilities, you haven't had any reports of COVID cases among them?
We had a COVID case right in early March when this all came out. And that was it. Everything was closed at that point. When we closed down, things were so different how it was reported and how Lake County required us to report it. But the person self-reported to us that they had it. But that was the only case that I'm aware of where we had a resident that actually reported to the park district that they had COVID-19.
Okay. I was just curious.
Hey, Mark, I just want to circle back real quick to the Zoom participation. So in the month of July, Zoom participants was actually greater than the outdoor/studio participants?
A little misleading in the fact that we do have the indoor that they have the option of either coming. So an example for Silverfit, they can come in if they feel comfortable, but yet we also do have a virtual library for some additional revenue for $10 a month that they actually get the playback. And then there we also have calculated some of those numbers for viewing virtual. So
gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes, so for another $10 a month, they can have like a full library of past classes they can just kind of have on demand.
Traveling and they want to be able to view that and they're not in the area, they can.
Has that been promoted? I mean, I don't even know what emails go to my spam folder and what emails I actually receive. I think that would be like a huge benefit that, could be, maybe marketed or promoted a little bit more.
Yeah. Jeff Spillman has been putting that out now for what, Jeff, the last 4 weeks or so?
Yeah, they've been coming across. It's on Instagram. This is Jennifer. It's coming across on Instagram feed, Facebook, and email.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other questions for Mark, we'll go last area. Two things. Real quick, Mark, talk about racket sports with the paddle open house, as Commissioner Lane pointed out, and we're starting to get people excited about the paddle season.
Yeah, this last Saturday, Kari held a free open house, and she did an excellent job. We ended up with 6 new members, and she's going to form a new team. as well as 2 pros, I think 1. So with short notice, they put that together, and I couldn't ask for better results within a week of adding at least 8 new people to the program. So it went really well.
Just the other item that Commissioner Lane brought up from the Facilities and Programs Committee is we're going to be offering what we'll call e-participation. We're calling it a RAP program. We've been talking with the school district, the superintendent, for the last month, organizing this, and mainly there seemed to be a strong need by the teachers. Today at 4 o'clock, we received some kind of upsetting news that the teachers now don't necessarily need it. We're not sure, and superintendent is feeling, she was pretty upset about it, and kind of a little bit embarrassed because we've been working pretty hard and wanting to do this for them. But there is good news with it as well, because she does have a long list of kids that could participate that are from local residents that need that e-participation supervision. So I'll let Dana kind of just give a quick overview of what that program is going to look like. Dana, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, so we have the capability of hosting 50 e-learners in our building, and we will be using the community room, half the gym, and then 2 preschool classrooms. And we have hired a coordinator for that, and depending on how many kiddos we will serve, we'll hire our staff. So what we'll be doing, RAP is Remote Assistance Program, and so we thought that was kind of a fun name to call it. So we are excited to open this up to the community. Dr. Leali believes that there is a long list of kiddos that wanted to get into the face-to-face learning and could not. So we will be gladly taking those kiddos. Tomorrow morning, we open it to the community, and we expect 45 to 50 kids to sign up. We are very excited to do this. They will be following their schedules, and then intermittently taking them outside to do crafts, games, sports, whatever we can do with the time that we have in between classes. So we are very excited the opportunity to serve the public this way, and it will be great for making some revenue for us as well.
Yeah, well, we'll be also extending early bird till 10, because they don't start school till 10. So there'll be probably a higher participation for before and after school care.
How will enrollment for that work? Will it be, like go with the trimesters? So people that are, e-learning now, but might not be later, or how long are the sessions for that?
The sessions are 2-week sessions.
Okay.
So we thought that would be fair for parents that, need the time if they're working those 2 weeks, or we just wanted to see, be a little bit more fluid and a little bit more inviting to everybody. We thought that that's the best way to go ahead.
Like camp almost. I think that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
exactly.
Any questions for Dana on the remote learning? Lastly, I've been working with New Vision Athletics throughout the summer. They've rented parts of our parks that we've never rented before and never thought of renting, and kind of developed that relationship to help each other out. So now that we moved the skate park, we're going to repurpose that back part of the property. And they are going to run a fall basketball program, New Vision Athletics, behind our building. And they're going to cross promote with the parents about the fitness center and other programs. We'll be receiving about anywhere from $1,500 to $1,750 per month. We're at least going to do 2.5 months. We're really excited about this partnership with New Vision Athletics, and it's for us. It's going to be great for participation at the facility, for revenue, as well as cross promotion for the fitness center.
Hey Dana, sorry, one quick thing before you go. How does attendance look for the preschool this year?
So the attendance this year, has gone down. So the morning is lower than usual. We have found it's not due to COVID, it's due to the siblings of the children that we have, because they're now e-learning at home. So they thought, a lot of parents have thought to keep all of their kids home, if that's what, it's just easier for the families. So we've remained steady in the morning. We've got about 75% attendance that we normally do. In the afternoon, though, has really gone down significantly. So we need to strategize on how to combine classes and get those to still run.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know it's going to be a challenge, but it certainly helps, myself and Paul and the rest of the finance committee kind of have, an idea of projections for, what 2021 will actually look like.
Yes. We do hope, though, in January, a lot of the families have said they'd like to come back in January. And I think it's just what they're doing is they're honestly just kind of wanting to watch and see how we are actually running our school. And we have proved over the summer that we're very safe, and we've kept kids very healthy, and they've had a great time in the whole process. So I think that they just need to see that we can do it. So I do believe in January we'll have a lot of kiddos coming back.
Yeah, I would echo that sentiment from, the people I talk to as well. It's not an indictment on what, the park district or the preschool is doing by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, the community, the state, county, like as a whole, just trying to figure it out. And, there's no real point in being a hero. So, discretion's the better part of valor right now. And hopefully by January, we can get back in the classroom.
Yes.
So that's pretty much all of what we have, unless anybody else has any questions. I will say, if we do fill up on the e-learning, that will definitely offset the revenue of any revenue that we would have lost at the preschool. So if we fill up 50, that could be a major win for us, participation-wise, for the community, serving all these parents and helping them out, as well as bringing in the revenue.
Can I just ask really quickly, with this e-learning, is that being promoted outside of the Lake Bluff Park District, though?
Yeah, actually, we do have some inquiries from Lake Forest, because other people have needs, and I don't believe Lake Forest is offering this type of program. We were holding on promotions because we almost had the maximum number that we were told by the school district in multiple meetings. And so we wanted to offer it to the teachers first, because that's where the need was. But now we need to move forward according to the superintendent at School District 65. You need to open it up for everybody now.
Right. So yes, everyone's invited.
Okay. Is Noah here? Oh, there you are.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Paul.
You had a short report here. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or?
There is somewhere in the process from when it got switched over from a Word document to PDF form, there was a last bullet point that got dropped off. So I wanted to touch on that. And most of these had to do with the paving project, which everybody is aware of and saw. But yeah, as to report to the board, on the 17th, we started the process. Everything went very smoothly. The entire project was budgeted at $195,032,000 with the contingency that was built in. At the end of the day, once everything was done, we ended at 186,629 was our last figure. So we only had to use a minor amount of contingency with a couple of change orders that ended up, I think, benefiting the district in the long run as far as the longevity of the parking lot. So that was a win overall in my book. It went smoothly, went well, and we came in at a good price.
Great.
That was the only thing. Short and sweet.
Okay. Shall we move on? Okay, minutes. Does anyone, Marshall, we can do all these in one motion, can't we? Approve all the minutes? Does anyone have any comments on any of the minutes that they want to adjust? Okay, could I please then get a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meetings of July 14th, July 16th, and August 4th, and the regular board meeting of July 27th?
So moved. Walsh.
Second, Lane.
Marshall, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bueller,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Okay, we now have the invoice schedule for the ACH payments for July 2020, the period ending August 3rd and 24. Any questions about that? I went through them. I think they all looked in order to me. Okay. Can I then get a motion to approve the invoice schedules for July 2020 and the periods ending August 3rd and August 24th?
So moved.
Second, Walsh.
Marshall, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bueller,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Finance. Just going back on the invoices, I've been signing a lot of the checks, and I'm waiting for the time when I'm not signing most of them, aren't refund checks. I don't know when that's going to happen, but kind of pains me every time when I'm signing those, but I sign them. Okay, we have the month-to-date and year-to-date financial report. Greg, do you have any comments you want to add to your written? You're on mute, Greg.
As I mentioned earlier, Rich and I are working on some of the scenarios that we talked about. He just brought to my attention today, if you look at some of the financials here, you take out the bond money that's in capital, just looking forward, looking to be down about $300,000 at this point in time. But you have to remember that the tax payments have been deferred this year.
Right.
So when it's all said and done, it most likely will be to the negative of somewhere around 79,000 or so. But Rich is refining these numbers, and that's what we're going to talk to you tomorrow about, Paul. He's got a little bit more work to do, and so he's doing a very good job of projecting forward, and we're going to be able to come back to everybody with some really more concrete information and reporting to you.
I think it's going to really help, and obviously after our meeting on the 9th as well, and when we go back to you, to the staff, to help put real meat on the bones, and obviously Dana, this comes from you and Mark and, you know, all the programs as to what we're going to end up with for the year and what we can look forward to next year. But it's, you know, I think to me, I think this summer the staff has done a great job under, you know, obviously it's challenging circumstances. But then we hear reports that people aren't using the fitness club as much, which, Scott, as you said, it's not surprising to me. Obstacles getting in the way of people using the preschool as much and some of the early childhood programs. And just with some people remaining very uncomfortable doing it, which, you know, I can totally understand. You know, getting to those numbers, when we get to the indoor activities, when we get away from the outdoor activities, I think, you know, most people feel a lot more comfortable with the outdoor activities than they do with the indoor ones. And we're going to have to take a hard look at that and see what it means to the programs. So, did anyone have any specific questions about the financial reports we got? Okay, I think it's, you know, for me, it's obviously it's challenging when you have the tax collection change completely or delayed and you know, so we have to project out in terms of revenue and what it's going to mean. You know, the rec fund continues to be the problem fund, and that's the big one. The general fund and you know, Scott had worked on this, and I think the numbers that Scott put together from those projections we did and the numbers we're getting all point out that the general fund is okay, the debt service and the capital fund and the special rec fund, there's not a lot of variation we can have on that. The rec fund is your issue. Okay, if we have no comments, I'm sorry? If we have no comments on those, do we have to accept those or?
Yes, motion to accept.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the month-to-date and year-to-date financial report, please?
So moved.
Scott.
Second? Okay.
Second.
Marcia, roll call, please.
Okay, Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Okay, we go on to the purchase cards. Anyone have any comments on these? Pretty straightforward.
No, there's just a couple things on here. They probably add up to like $1,400 related to the skate park. Was that just for the demolition and of that?
Yes, we that was the rental of the roll-off dumpsters that were needed to remove the waste.
Gotcha. Yeah, it just says roll off. Roll off skate park. I wasn't sure what that was.
Yep, dumpster rental.
Cool. That was it.
Okay, can I please get a motion to approve the purchase cards, please?
So moved. Beeler?
Second, Lane.
Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Okay, new business. One piece of new business, which is finally, we got to it. The approval of the employment contract for John Beeler. Which I understand he has signed, Greg, is that correct?
Yes, he has.
He's signed and his salary has been posted and we're all ready to rock and roll.
Right. Yes, as per the requirements of the Open Meetings Act, we had to post this 6 days in advance of you approving it here, and that was done way more than 6 days in advance. So we're good to go. He starts on September 8th, Tuesday.
Good.
Can I please have a motion to approve the employment contract for John Beeler?
Jennifer Beeler's moves.
Second, Lane.
Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
Wonderful. We have a new executive director. And I, Greg, at this point, I would like to personally thank you. I know your last day is September 11th,
Correct.
what was written in. But I think we all really appreciate you helping us out and coming to the rescue now and really doing a great job for this relatively brief but important period. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been fun. Great staff. Enjoyed working with everyone.
Absolutely. Written communications. I haven't seen any. Did we have any written communications?
No.
Okay. Lacking anything else, we can adjourn the meeting. Can I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, Walsh.
Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.